it's Alyssa. Welcome back to my channel. 2021 is no more. So I figured I would do a year-end review for my channel, just for me, just for nostalgia purposes, going back, starting from the very beginning of 2021 that you saw earlier in the first clip, and then me just kind of cycling through the year, because this year a lot of exciting things happened and I really want to help you know a little bit more about me and who I am, just so that you can understand the purpose and the mission and the goal of this channel and the podcast that I ended up creating this year. Okay, so starting off with the first thing that I want to touch on. Okay, so the first thing that I want to touch on is travel, because that's my number one favorite thing to do now is traveling. And when I say travel, I mean outside of my home state, the state of Florida. So that could be within the United States or internationally. I'm hoping to do a lot more international travel in 2022. Let me know if you want to be a travel buddy. But this year I have been able to go to several places. And hopefully I'll be able to go to more places next year. But the first place that I went to this year was Chicago. So I ended up going to Chicago in about March. I was only there for a little bit over 3 or 4 days. So I didn't get a chance to do, I'm sure, everything that there is to do in Chicago, but I did get a chance to do a lot. So I went to the Tilt, for example. So there were several things that I ended up doing. And here's a little bit about my trip to Chicago. So because so many things were closed down in Chicago when I went, I don't think that I had as much fun as I could have, but I did see a lot of monumental places. So I would probably go back if I had the chance to, just so I can really experience the city for what it is. But I didn't leave feeling exactly wowed. So I definitely want to make sure I try out a few more food places when I go there again. But it overall was really fun because I was with my family. The next place that I ended up going to was Los Angeles, and I never have really wanted to go to LA per se, but when I got there, I felt like it was the type of city that you need to experience at least once in your lifetime, especially because it's on the West Coast, and it is a completely different vibe on the West Coast than there is on the East Coast. There's just something in the atmosphere. I'm not saying that one is better than the other, but there is a different vibe, and I can say that for sure. So when I went over there, I went and stayed with a friend, and I just, went around and did everything that I could think of that was available to me on the weekends, and then I kind of like just hung out during the week, during my work week. And it was really, really fun in Los Angeles. So I didn't just stay in Los Angeles. I actually ended up going to Malibu Beach. That was beautiful. I ended up going to Carlsbad Beach as well. I ended up going to Baldwin Hill. And there was a lookout point, and that was really beautiful as well, because I've never heard of Baldwin Hill Lookout Point. I've only ever heard of, like, I think it's called Runyon Canyon. So when I went there, I made sure to do something that was in nature and doing it around, you know, patronizing businesses that I want to make sure are patronized, that are just showing the appreciation that they deserve, because I always hear about Runyon Canyon, but never about the one on in Baldwin Hills. So we went there, and it was really nice. I enjoyed it. It was definitely a workout, climbing all the way up to the top, but you know, the view was beautiful. Um, my favorite things to do though, there were definitely going to the beaches in Malibu Beach, Carlsbad, because they were amazing. They were beautiful, and I would definitely go back in a heartbeat. So, you know, and it's completely different than where I am here in Florida. In Florida, it is very flat. I wasn't born here in Florida, but it is completely flat. So the beaches are a completely different experience. You get to see a lot of cliffs in California, and I love that. I appreciated everything because it was just so scenic and so different. So like I said, I'd go back to LA in a heartbeat. And the last place that I went to this year, I'm going out of order here, but it's going to make sense. It's just a lot easier for me to do it this way. So the last place that I ended up going to this year was Jamaica. That was in November. That was for my mom's milestone birthday, and it was really fun. I went with basically all family, and it was really fun. We enjoyed it. I had never been to Jamaica before. I'd never been to any of these places on my list before, but I really enjoyed it. It was beautiful. It was just what I needed. I went there for almost 5, 6 days. I want to go back, definitely stay for longer. It was gorgeous. I got to eat everything that I wanted to eat there, which is always a plus for me. That definitely makes the experience more enjoyable no matter where I am, or who I'm with, is kind of tasting the local food and everything. So I had, you know, ackee, although I only had it one time, which was, I was completely shocked. But, you know, hopefully next time when I go back, it'll be in season. Um, or I'm not sure if it was or not, but I didn't see a lot available there. But anyway, I would love to go back to Jamaica. Probably spend more time in like a beach, more of a beach town. Montego. We stayed in Montego Bay, and that is definitely a beach town. But um, I would probably want to stay in a place that was closer to maybe Ocho Rios or something like that, just because a lot of the nature tours over there interest me, because River Falls was right over there, and that was an amazing experience for me. So I would definitely love to go back, experience a different beach, definitely doing all inclusive as well, because it was an all inclusive resort that we stayed at, and it was worth every penny. I loved staying there. We stayed at Rue hotels, and it was, the people were very hospitable. So I would give it, you know, an A for hotels. Just to slide that in there. Not sponsored though. I definitely want to go back to Jamaica to experience more, but besides that, it was an amazing trip, and I'm just happy to have been able to relax and have fun with family and to be in the Caribbean, by the ocean, because I just love the ocean. In 2021, I also turned 26 years old. That was in September. I turned 26, and 25 had been an amazing year to me. I had experienced a lot of different changes. I also traveled a lot when I was 25 years old. So I just enjoyed 25. So I was very excited to bring in 26. Brought it in, on 2 different weekends because I loved splitting up the celebration, and I was able to actually celebrate with friends and family. And, one weekend I just went out to dinner. Other weekend I stayed in a hotel and I did everything that I love, all the water sports that I love, and I thoroughly enjoyed myself. So it was a big blessing to reach 26, and I'm really happy with what I was able to accomplish being 25 years old, and I'm excited to see what new growth I'm going to have as a 26-year-old and what the future is going to bring for me. So I'm more than excited to, go through this whole year and be able to check a few more goals off of my list in year 26. Okay, so the next thing that I wanted to talk about in 2021 that I ended up doing was sitting for the spring Florida bar and passing. Oh my gosh, that was an amazing moment. I was so happy when I found out that I passed. My whole law school journey is another video in itself. My whole journey in general to becoming an attorney, but I am just blessed to say that I finally checked off this long-term, lifelong goal of mine as being an attorney. Hopefully I will be able to say that I will be barred in other states. And I know that becoming an attorney was a huge, major accomplishment for me, but it also is just the beginning, because I think that being an attorney will give me an amazing platform to move forward and accomplish a lot of the other goals that I have planned for myself. So that was one of the biggest, greatest blessings of this year, was being able to put, 4 years of part-time law school behind me, and then subsequent studying for the bar and interning and all of that, put it behind me and start building on the platform of actually practicing as an attorney, and practicing law with a license and doing things on my own, and making sure that I am learning as much as possible. So it has only been since, I believe, April it was, that I was officially licensed. So now that we're in December, it has been less than a year. So I have a few more months until my actual year milestone for becoming an attorney. But this whole entire time, I have been learning so much from, myself, from colleagues, mentors, and it's been an amazing time. So I'm just excited to see where else this can take me, and I'm excited to build on the knowledge that I have to become the attorney that I envision myself ultimately becoming, which is someone who's able to practice in multiple areas and be confident in the knowledge that they have, because of the amount of experience that they've had and the amount of years that they've had. So I think that it's an amazing thing when I hear about attorneys being sages in the community and they've been practicing law for like 20, 30 years or something like that, which I'm like, number one, how do you do that? But number two, that's amazing, because I think that it is admirable to stay in a career and kind of stick through it, so that you actually learn and have knowledge to build on and to share with other people, so you can kind of build yourself up and give yourself a reputation in the community based off of a career, so that eventually people will start coming to you. And that's ultimately my goal. So I can't wait to, see where I'm at year 10 as an attorney, or year 20. But, this hasn't even been year number 1 yet, but I know that I've already learned a lot, and I'm excited to see what else I have to learn in this career, just to better serve my community and to be able to provide for my family like I wanted to do initially. So yeah, super excited about that. Okay, and then the last thing that I wanted to talk about accomplishing this year was creating, first of all, and launching this podcast for Lawless. So this is not technically a podcast episode. As you can see, I'm sitting here by myself. This is actually in my home office. So I'm sitting here by myself, create a little setup. But I am no longer going to be at the previous studio that I was recording at. It was a beautiful setup. Everything, like, production went amazing. Post production, there were a lot of, bumps in the road. So I ended up launching the podcast a lot later than I wanted to. But moving forward, I am trying to create a podcast studio on my own because I am particular about how I want to portray myself to you guys, because every time I want you to come to my channel, I want you to have a certain feeling so that we can create this community and kind of get closer and you guys can get to know me as an attorney, but also a little bit personally as well, so that you can understand like the type of community that this is on my channel. So I'm very particular about that, and I believe that just creating a space where I can have for my guests would be the best option moving forward. So that is what I'm currently pursuing. So there's going to be a little bit of changes in the interim, but as always, there's going to be quality conversations, quality video, lighting, and editing. I think I care more about that than anything, but there's going to be quality conversations, and I'm excited to see what the future of the podcast actually looks like. Like I was saying, I do have an idea, obviously, of what I'm going to be doing, but at the same time, I just have not seen it come to fruition yet. So I'm excited to see what it actually looks like in the future. And in the interim, I believe I'll be doing more virtual podcasts. But when I am about to launch that studio, I will let you guys know where that new spot would be. And I also wanted to thank every one of you that has supported me so far, that has said words of encouragement, that were very kind and very supportive in my journey. I know I had been speaking about doing a podcast for a while, and I have done little personal projects on the side, but nothing that I've ever actually produced and put my time and effort and money into and moved forward with an action plan and a goal and a vision. So I'm excited that this was the year that actually came to fruition, and that's what makes me all the more excited to move into 2022, because I want to see the new heights that we're able to reach in the new year. So I just want to, like I said, again, say thank you to everyone that has supported, and I hope that you're enjoying the content so far. I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear your constructive criticism. I want to, know what you guys are thinking. I want you guys to have a conversation with me. Talk to me, like let's chat. Let's actually talk, so we can actually have a community, like I said. So this is our space. This is what I want it to be. I want it to be very comfortable for you guys, and very I want to have this as a platform that gives you some sort of knowledge, some sort of lesson, but having a think tank for the community so that we can actually talk about things that are plaguing our community, or even talk about share good news all the time, or sometimes. So my future plans, I did want to touch on as well for next year. I know that, like I said, this year I just became an attorney, and it has been a wild ride. I have learned a lot, like I said, but it is not for the faint of heart, let me tell you. It is something that you definitely have to be passionate about, and I do, all the much more respect attorneys just being in the profession now, and knowing exactly what attorneys go through, especially depending on what field you're practicing in, and actually seeing the practical part of being an attorney. So in the future, I am planning on, sticking in the legal profession And I'm planning on, like I said, building on the knowledge that I currently have, just so that it can give me that a good platform to move forward in the future with what I want to do, potentially going into different fields and using the law and the legal field as my backbone. So this is something that I've actually seen a lot of people doing lately. They've been coming up with a word for the new year, and I've never really did that before, but I think that it can be very powerful. So I'm going to actually try to start 2022 off with a word for the new year, and my word for the new year is acceleration. The reason that I say acceleration is because I want the the process for me going through all of the things that I have been planning and actually, planting and actually watering all of the seeds that I've been sowing. I want the growth to accelerate. So essentially, years ago, I, for example, started law school. That was me sowing a seed, going in and practicing and studying, was me watering it. And then I was able to see the fruition of it from becoming an attorney and becoming licensed. So I want to see my other goals actually grow, so that they can come to fruition as well. So that's why I'm choosing acceleration as my word. Let me know what you guys are choosing as your word for 2022, if you even have a word. If not, just think about it. I say go with the first word that comes to mind, because that is going to ring true for you for 2022. So use your intuition, go with the first word that comes to mind. Okay, so my goals for the new year. My goal mainly, and this is not, it doesn't always have a plan behind it. It's more of a posture for me. So one of my main goals, like I said, and I've kind of been saying and touching on throughout this whole video, is just becoming a better attorney and increasing my knowledge. So that can look like so many different things, but whatever can allow me to pursue that additional knowledge is what I will be making a purposeful decision to pursue in the new year. So that is my main goal, is just to constantly be fixated on opportunities for myself to learn and get better, whether that is being mentored by multiple people or doing a lot more CLEs, or whatever that may look like in particular, or reading a lot more. That is what I'm going to have to do in order to generate more knowledge. Another personal goal of mine, though, is I'm very into like uh, physical fitness and dancing, running, anything that keeps me active, because I'm a very physical person. I get very bored easily when I'm sitting down, so I like to be up doing something. And so I enjoy doing, literally anything that gets me outside, moving around. So one of my main goals this year, this new year in 2022, would be to actually run another race. So I've done the Savage Race before, I've done the Rugged Maniac before, and the year after I did those two, I wanted to do another race, but I believe that was the year that COVID happened. That was like 2022. And yeah, that those plans were completely washed. I was planning on doing a race in that fall of 2020. So 2022, I'm hoping that during April I can actually do another race, and I think I have a race buddy ready to race with me who has done these races before too. So I'm excited about that, because not a lot of my friends, let me tell you, want to do something like that with you, which I understand. But for me, I need a partner to run a 7 mile race. Like, you would like to have somebody to train with and to actually do these things with you. So I need a partner. I think I found a partner, and that's one of my goals, is to at least run one of these races and to complete a lot more obstacles than I did in the previous races, because I did complete a lot of the obstacles, but a lot of the upper body strength obstacles were a lot more difficult for me. So this year, I know that increasing my upper body strength is a top priority of mine, and moving forward, that is what I'm going to be focusing on, so that when I'm going through those obstacles, I don't have to stop, I don't have to fall in the water, I don't have to, I don't have to basically wipe out to actually complete the obstacle. So that's another 2022 goal. Okay, so another goal of mine too is just to get better in my personal life with leveling things up and feeling like I'm pursuing opportunities that are going to help me climb the corporate ladder and that are going to help me position myself in my community so that people are more comfortable with me. Okay, so another goal of mine is more personal, and it is just to pursue more opportunities to network, to meet new people, just to level up in different ways so that I can keep progressing in life, essentially. So I know that a lot of things are happening, and it looks like there may be some restrictions rolling out soon just because of the different variants that are coming out. But I am hopeful that things are going to get better, and I'm trying to stay optimistic. So I'm hoping that there are more opportunities to network, because a big part of my profession is being able to know people in the community and networking and having that community of people behind you that will advocate on your behalf, that will actually reach out to you, that will actually trust you, that will actually, give you a clientele, that will, just all of these different things that you need in this profession. So that is my goal, to do that a little bit more this year. And I'm hoping that I will be able to have that opportunity, because these last 2 years, I have not really been able to have much of an opportunity. I have taken a lot of opportunities for in person events when I've seen them, but I'm not really a virtual event sort of person. So I have not been doing many virtual events because I do prefer in person events. It's just a lot less awkward and a lot more purposeful to me. So I am just hoping that there are a lot more in person opportunities to do some networking, just to get out and to talk to people a little bit more, because like I said, I'm a new attorney, so I want the opportunity to be able to meet a lot of my colleagues face to face, see how people are doing. And there's a lot of people I have not seen in a while, and you typically see them running in the same circles, because this area is a little bit more of a smaller community. So I have not seen a lot of my colleagues in a while. So I would love to be able to get the opportunity to go out and just all be around each other in a just networking event, in an environment that is not as, formal as work. So I'm hoping to have that opportunity. So that's pretty much it for me today, guys. I hope that you guys have a really great New Year's Eve or New Year's Day whenever you're watching this. Thank you again for everyone that has been supporting me so far. Guys, like I said, I want this to be a community, so make sure that you go down to the comment section below. However you can comment on this, leave a review, whatever it is, and talk back to me. Let me know what your goals are for 2022. What are your plans for a career? What are your plans for anything that you've created, or any of your side hustles or businesses or whatever? Ask me questions. Ask me things that you want to know about my profession. Just, leave it in the comments below, whatever it is. But like I said, I hope you guys have a great New Year's. I'm going to be celebrating tonight with family, and we're just going to watch the ball drop. And I'm excited. So next year, I'll catch you guys in another year-end review, another sit-down video. I'm hoping to be in another city, actually literally watching the ball drop next year, but we'll see how that goes. And until next time, guys, I will see you. Bye.